It's Ivy Slater, and you're listening to Her Success Story podcast, a show where gutsy businesswomen share their success journey. Hi, this is Ivy Slater. Welcome to today's episode of Her Success Story. I thought as it's the beginning of March, it's the opportunity to take today's episode and talk a little bit about the women in our lives and focus a little bit on International Women's Day. The women in your life who've made a difference, the people in your life who've made a difference. You know, this year, the theme for International Women's Day is Give to Gain. And when I think about giving and all the people who have given to me, mentored me, and those fortunate I have learned with or learned by, and I know every woman I mentor, every woman I touch, I am learning in that process. And that's one of the keys, one of the amazing things in mentorship is as we mentor others, we learn and grow so much. So in Give to Gain, I was thinking about who has given in my life, who are the people who have impacted me, and who have I gained from? So first, I have to, of course, give a shout out to my mom, who was one of the most hugely impactful women in my life. She believed in me more than I ever believed in myself. All my crazy things that I wanted to do, including opening this company, Slater Success, she was behind me. When I wanted to be a dancer, she was behind me. When I wanted a degree in dance and my parents said, well, you have to get a degree in something that would pay the bills. She's like, you could find a way to get 2 degrees. And I was like, but all the schools are saying no. She goes, figure this out. You got this. So a huge shout out to my mom, to the point of when I started this company, she had such a great business head, and she was a bookkeeper, went to school for accounting, was a business manager for film editing companies. She was a powerhouse, opened her own business when I was in elementary school. When I opened this company and she said, let me sit down with you and start your books, etc. And she's asking me a bunch of questions. And she's like, Ivy, this isn't scalable. This isn't going to work. I said, what do you mean it's not going to work? Of course it is. Everybody said it's going to work. She goes, follow the numbers. It's not going to work. You can't support your family with your lifestyle and what you've earned from Slater Graphics, your printing company, based on the numbers you're showing me. Get in the numbers and figure it out. So hence a huge shout out to my mother, because I would not be where I am today in so many ways without her. Also, when I think about the dance teachers that have made an impact, many of them who are female, a bunch who are male, that is massive. When I think about all of that, I think about sitting with my mom and watching the Ruth Bader Ginsburg movie. And I think about the women who've made an impact, the women who have broken those barriers, the women who have paved the way for other women. So on a personal note, you know, Mrs. Durkin, you made somewhere up in heaven, you made a massive impact on my life. My mother, you've made a massive impact on my life. The women who came before me in this career, women who came before me and literally just being role models of what it is to be a working mother. When I was first pregnant with my daughter, my first child, and everybody said, you can have the kind of career you want and be a good mom. I could tear up now. But they said it to me point blank. And I said, that's not true. That's just not true. And I spoke to another girlfriend of mine, Bonnie, who's a doctor, pediatrician. And I said, what do you think? And she said, Ivy, you and I can do this together, because it's about how we show up. It's about showing up and not about what the titles are. And you show up 100% where your heart is throughout the day. You can accomplish and be anything. And Bonnie and I have accomplished massive careers, amazing children. So think about who your role models are. There's so many out there. Think about how in 2026 you can give and receive, or give to gain. And remember, every time we mentor, we get so much back. So my point here is, how are you showing up in 2026 as a dynamic, successful, ambitious, grounded, can do everything you ever desired woman, and set that role model, not just for you, but for all the others you touch? And for those male listeners, don't leave me yet, because we cannot make these changes. We cannot create this growth without our male allies. Huge shout out to my husband, who said to me, "You want to do this, Ivy? You want to open this crazy thing, what's called coaching?" I have no idea what it is, in 2007 when I pitched it to him. He's like, "You want to do it? Figure it out. I'm with you. Let me know what you need." And hence the male allies in our lives that are important. So take a deep breath in. I always say, identify one takeaway and jot it down somewhere. Today, I'm going to encourage you to identify one takeaway as well as one person who's made an impact in your life. Create the action and the thank you. And let's all together this year give to gain.